Hi, everybody, and welcome to Unwind Design. Today, we're going to be doing a really nice pumpkin with flowers on top of it. Hopefully, you guys enjoy that today. So, we're going to be using our towel. We're going to be using our primary colors and the magic weapon to make our paint nice and soft, our water. Also, we're going to be using these brushes. These are our tools today. We have a large background brush. We're going to put that in our water. A square brush. Put that in our water as well. A round tip. Let's activate it by putting it in that water. And finally, our detail brush, which is actually the one we're going to start off with first. I'm going to pick up a little bit of this water and I'm going to drop it off right on the corner of my yellow and pull some of that yellow into it. I like to mix my colors on the edge so that I don't mess up that paint in the center, and I have plenty of it left over in case I want to use it later, which we are going to use it later. So we're going to start off first by outlining our pumpkin. We're going to create a line around about halfway up. We want to leave enough space for our flowers, so make sure that you don't crowd it too much. And then on the other side, we're going to make another line going up as well. And you want to leave about maybe a few fingers on the side so that your pumpkin is right in the middle. Next, we're going to retire this little thing by putting it back in the water. And we're going to begin to pick up our round tip brush. So the color we're going to be using for this pumpkin is going to be white, but I want to add a little tiny bit of a color into it. So maybe like an orange. I'm going to add some water to the corner of my white using my square brush. And I'm going to pull in some of that white into that water to begin to soften it as well, just like we did with the yellow. I want to make sure my paint is nice and smooth and ready for me to use instead of thick and sticky like toothpaste. And in this white, I'm going to add a tiny little bit of yellow and a tiny little drop of red. Really, really little. Okay, so you don't want to add a lot of it, just a little. And that's going to turn your white into sort of a peach color, a very, very light peach tan color, which is what we want. Okay, see that? It's like a very light skin tone. From here, we are going to start first by painting in the center, which is going to be in the shape of an almond. Again, we're going to do the center in the shape of an almond. And then we're going to paint the middle. Next, I'm going to get a little bit of this white, and I'm going to paint right next to it again so that we have a lighter space. So even if I still have paint in my brush, I'm going to pick up some white and I'm going to put that on the side so we have a lighter space. You can even go over the middle a little bit as well. I'm going to also add some of that white towards my left side. From here, I'm going to pick up some more of this peach. And now we're going to do the edge. And make sure you paint over that yellow that you put there. There we go. We're painting over that. So it looks like that was part of our pumpkin. So now we have tan and a little bit of white and tan. We're going to do the same on the other side to make sure that this is nice and soft. There we go, making it a little bit chunkier on the right too. And there we go. We have our pumpkin that has all these really nice colors. It's like a tan, a white, and a tan. If yours is a little darker, it's okay, roll with it. Your painting is going to look different than mine, and that's what makes your painting super cool. Remember, what makes art special is that you do it your own way. I want to teach you techniques. Yes. Am I going to help you a little bit to kind of give you instructions on how to make it like mine? Of course, that's what we're doing here. But your hand is what's going to make this painting better, even better than mine, because you did it. Okay. And you give this unique perspective and you bring this very interesting quality of yourself into these paintings by putting a little bit of you into them. We're not copy machines. It's impossible for you to make a painting exactly like me. Like it's impossible for me to make this painting exactly the same every single time. Okay, if I cannot make this painting the same if I made it 3 times, why am I going to expect you to make it exactly the same? As artists, we need to be a little bit nicer to ourselves and bring down our standards a little bit more and understand that everything is a process. All right. From here, we're going to come in and we're going to begin to paint in this background. So we're going to come in and I'm going to add a little bit of water on the side. Again, I'm going to scoop up a little bit of this white into that space as well. And I'm going to add a tiny little drop of yellow. We want to get this a pastel yellow, and we're going to be making a really pretty turquoise today. So again, nice and pastel, and then just add a tiny little drop of that blue. And watch that color transform into a beautiful icy color. If it's too dark, add more white. If it's too green, add more yellow. Add more white, add more blue. If it's too light and you can't see the turquoise, add a little bit of that yellow. And what we're going to do is we're going to begin to paint this painting, and we're going to be going up and down, up and down. It doesn't have to look perfect. We're going to come down and just scratch that color in. If you can still see some of the canvas, that's okay. Let's roll with that. Let's let that be part of this. So I'm going to go around my pumpkin, and I'm going to start to paint upwards. You want it to be kind of rustic. If you want to come in with a little bit of white and scratch in some white in there too, that'll look absolutely perfect. So again, we're going to come in with this turquoise, and we're going to paint some of it. It's going to be a little scratchy. Okay, so we're not fully going to cover all of it. We want it to scratch. We want it to be a little dry. And then you're going to come in with some white and scratch in some of that white too, so it looks a little bit rougher. And there we go again. We're painting from the top to the bottom, from the bottom to the top. If you need to make some more colors, go ahead and make a little bit more. And remember, you're also going to pick up some of that white and scratch it over that turquoise. And we're going to do that all across our canvas. Again, if the color's a little loose, that's perfect. We don't want to necessarily fill in the whole thing with that turquoise. Next, you're going to get a little bit of that white, and we're going to start to scratch that over the top. And there we go. The next thing we're going to do with this painting is we are going to dry it. So if you want to pick it up and start going like this, or if you have a cardboard or a folder that you want to use to dry it over the top, you can do that as well. Or if you have a fan nearby, you can use that too. I myself am going to use a hairdryer. Okay, guys, next we're going to begin to work on our flowers. So we're going to start off first with our sunflower. We're going to be picking up our round tip brush, and we're going to just kind of outline a circle right there. Let me use my white for that so you guys can see it a little bit better. There we go. I'm also going to outline where I'm going to put my other flowers. So here's my sunflower. This is the center. I'm going to leave a little bit of space. I'm going to put a dot right there so I know that's where my flower is going to be. Next, we're going to make another circle to make another flower. Maybe a circle on top. You know what? Maybe another little circle down here and another one there. Maybe another one down there. That might be covered. Not sure yet. Okay, well, we're taking this as it goes, guys. So from here, I'm going to pick up my yellow, and I'm going to mix it with a little bit of white so that it stands out against my blue or my turquoise. And for my flower, let me zoom in for my sunflower. I'm going to start off first from the outside, working my way in. So pressing lightly. And then as I go down, I'm going to press harder. And my brush is going to begin to open up. And it's going to give me that leaf or that petal. We could go down the sides to make it a little chunkier if you don't like the size. And let's try that again. Let's get a little bit of that white and that yellow. And let's come in to the side and let's do another one. Pressing down and then lifting. If you want to make it chunkier on the sides, go for it. Again, yellow and white. Start as far as you want the petal to be. And then you're going to press lightly, press hard. Again, the petal, lightly and hard. And you're going to notice the more that you do this, the easier it's going to get. You can make more round petals or you can make them pointier. Again, outside, in. One more time, outside and then in. Make them a little chunkier. And we're going to keep doing this until we finish with this flower. Perfect. Next, let's do a couple more of these sunflowers, maybe sticking out on the side here. I'll put a nice little leaf coming towards the middle. This one over here as well, out towards the middle. And I'm going to add a couple of these on the edges. I'm going to give that a little bit of time. Since we're already working with our yellow, let's go ahead and add a little bit of this blue to it. And let's start making a green. So blue and yellow, make green. If your green is not looking dark enough, wash off all of that white. The white is going to give you more of a turquoise, so your color won't look as rich and vibrant. If you want a pure green, make sure you don't have any white on your brush. See, and that's the difference between that color and this color. With that green, we're going to begin to add some leaves. So we're going to do the same thing we did with this petal, but we're going to start off big, press hard, and we're going to make it really chunky on the sides. And then we're just going to fill that into the petal so it looks like it's going behind it. That's one. Down here, lightly, press hard. 1, 2. Perfect. And you can add as many of these as you want. I'm going to put one right over here. And they don't all have to be big leaves. You can make little leaves as well. So let's say I want to make another little leaf, but this one's going to be a little smaller. There we go. Tiny little leaves. If they're too dark, you can scratch in some yellow to make it lighter. If it's too light, you can scratch in some blue to make it darker. And again, you can even add just plain blue leaves if you want to. That is such a pretty leaf color to add to this painting, right? Gorgeous. All right, next, we're going to come in and I'm going to add a little bit of black into the corner of my red. So I'm going to add a little bit black into the corner of my red. And that's going to give me a dark burgundy color. And I'm going to use this burgundy color to make some flowers. First, we're going to start with a rose. So I'm going to start in the middle with the center. And I'm going to start to make lines going around the center, kind of like ripples when you drop a little stone into our water, right? It creates these ripples. That's what we're going to be doing there. We're going to go ahead and add another rose down at the bottom with just ripples, with just those lines. And then we're going to pick up a little bit of the white. Doesn't matter if you still have a little bit of red in there. And we're going to put that white inside the spaces and gaps in between the flowers. So I'm coming in with some of that white. For the pink flowers, we're going to pick up some of that red and white. I'm going to clean off my brush first from all of this dark color first though. Then I'm going to mix that red and white together. And I'm going to start to add some pink flowers. 1 side, 2 side, 3 side, 4 side. And I'm pressing harder so that I get chunkier flowers. You see that? So again, I'm going to press a little harder right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can add as many of these as you want. Even make it look like they're behind the sunflower if you want to. They don't have to be in the front of the sunflower. They can be in the back. Same thing over here. For this, I'm going to add just a big white chunky spot right in the middle. And right here, it looks like this one blended with my blue a little bit, which is totally fine because that even gave me a purple flower. See, sometimes you plan for something and something else comes out of it and it ends up looking beautiful. Look at that. Now I'm feeling bad about my other ones. I'm going to add a little bit of purple to that too. Snap. There we go. Next, we're going to get this dark red that we used for the roses. A little bit of black into my red. And again, make sure you wash off your brush before you mix this color. And we're going to add a couple of more of these dark lines in there just to make it stand out. One more time. This dark red is going to be used for a lot of things too. We're going to fill in the center of our sunflower with that dark red and the center of this one as well. The next thing we're going to do with this dark red is we're going to come in and make a couple of leaves. So I'm going to come in and make a line. There's a line there. I'm going to do another line coming down. Another line off to the side. Maybe even one on that side too. Why not? And what we're going to do is we're going to make these same kind of leaves, but in this color. We're going to start in the bottom, pressing lightly and then hard. Lightly and then hard. And we're going to have these coming down from the sides. You can add as many as you want. You can even make some of these petals not even attached to that stem. You can have them just kind of floating there. You put them up on top, on the side. And we're going to add some of these all the way around. Again, if it looks a little shiny, it's because of the light. It's not glitter or anything. It's just the light hitting the wetness of the paint, and that's why you're getting that effect. In the center of this, we're gonna start to use our detail brush to make this look a little finer. I'm gonna come in and pick up a little bit of my white, and I'm gonna begin to make some dots all along the center of this sunflower. Okay, so again, we're picking up that white, making these dots all along the center of our sunflower. And around, we're just going to make a nice little circle in the middle of that burgundy. Get that. One circle above, one circle in the middle. We're going to do the same over here. Dots, a line, and a line. Next, we're going to add a little bit of yellow to this dark red. And that's going to give us a little bit of brown. Let's add a little bit more yellow. And let's add a little bit more red to that so we get more of a dark orange. There we go. So we're adding some of that yellow and that red, making that dark orange. And I'm going to add lines, outlining my sunflowers real quick. So I'm outlining them really quickly. They don't have to look perfect. Remember, we're just playing with these lines, giving it some shape. So that way they don't look too much like they're in the back. You want to make them pop. With this brown, you're also going to add maybe some lines in between. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to keep adding these lines. And finally, we're going to also add, let's make sure we wash our brush first. But like I was saying, we're going to also add some of this white. We're going to make a line down the center of our leaves. And then we're going to add lines going out of the sides. From here, we're going to get some more of that green. Hopefully you still have some left over. If you don't, wash off your brush, get a little bit of this yellow, add some of that blue. And we're going to start to add our final details. We're going to get this green, and we're going to begin to make some lines coming out. There's one line, 2, 3, another one up there, 4, and we got some right perfect stems to make baby's breath. So to make baby's breath, it's not going to be that difficult. We're going to use that blue and that yellow, and we're going to make little sections in 3s. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to do the same on the opposite side as well. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Down here as well. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And finally, we're going to wash off that brush. Pick up our round tip brush. And we're going to get some white and start adding dots on the tips of all of these little lines that we made, all 3 of them. So again, pick up a scoop of that white and add a dot on top of all of those little lines you made. Perfect. After you're done with that, we are going to come in. And you know what? I'm going to add a little bit more of this dark red down here. I really like these leaves, and I want to put some in the bottom. So here I'm going to make a couple of the leaves, a couple of lines, and that way I have an excuse to put these dark red leaves down here. So 1, 2, 3, and I'm just going to add a few. I don't really want to add a lot, but I really like how these look. I think for fall, these are such beautiful leaves. There we go. If you want to add a little bit of the yellow to make them pop, you can do that over the top. Or you can add a little bit of white and just give them a little scratch. And that way we got a little bit of a highlight going on there. There we go. After you're done with this, we're going to get our detail brush. Pick up whatever color you want to use. And down on the bottom right-hand side, I'm going to write in my signature. Make sure you put yours too, so people know that you made this beautiful masterpiece. And after this, guys, we are done. Thank you guys so much for painting with me today. I really enjoyed painting with you, and I look forward to painting with you guys next time. Bye.